My name is Lily. I live in Chicago. I am 19 years old. I do not have much. I do not have a car or a big house. But I have a dream. I want to make this city clean. Every morning, I walk to the streets. I pick up trash. People watch me. Some laugh. Some turn away. But I don't stop. This is not my job. No one pays me. But I do it. I do it because I care. I do it because no one else will. Chicago is a big city. It is full of people, but it is also full of trash. On every corner, I see paper, bottles, cans, and food boxes. On the sidewalks, I see bags, cups, and gum. I see things people leave behind. Some do it by mistake. Some just don't care. I used to walk past all of it. But one day, I said no more. I could not look away. I had to do something. Even if I was just one girl. I remember that day. It was a cold morning. The sky was gray. I walked to the park near my street. The grass was full of bottles. The bench had old food. The ground was dirty. I saw a small boy trip on a can. He fell and started crying. His mother helped him up. I looked at the can. That was it. I picked it up. I found a bag. I picked up more trash. It felt right. It felt strong. I went home that day with a full bag. My hands were cold, but my heart was warm. From that day, I started to clean. One street, at one block, at one corner. Every day after school, I picked a spot. I walked with my bag. I wore gloves. I picked up trash. At first, people stared. Some asked, "Why are you doing this?" I said, "Because this is my city." Some laughed. "It's not your job," they said. I smiled. "That's okay," I said. "I'll do it anyway." Some gave me a thumbs up. Some gave me nothing. But I never looked back. It was not easy. The trash was everywhere. It smelled bad. Some things were heavy. Some were wet. Once, I picked up a box with old food. It made my eyes water. Another time, I stepped on a sharp can. My foot hurt for days. I cleaned it at home. I put on a bandage. I told myself, "You are okay. Keep going." And I did. Every day, I told myself the same thing. You are one. But one is enough. I made a rule. I would never ask for money. This work was free. This work was mine. I did it because it was right. I took a small cart from home. I tied a bag to it. I wore old jeans and a hoodie. My shoes were cheap. But I walked like I owned the street. I walked with purpose. People saw me. Some said hello. Some gave me water. And one man gave me gloves. He said, You're doing good, girl. I said, "Thank you, sir." I did not need much, just a little kindness. One day, I went to a big street in downtown. It was full of shops. The lights were bright. The people were rich. But the trash was still there. I stood on the corner with my bag. I started to clean. Some people stopped to watch. One woman asked, "Who are you with?" I said, "No one, just me." She looked confused. "Why?" she asked. I said, "Because someone has to." She said nothing more, but she gave me a small smile before she walked away. I went to that street every Saturday. It was always dirty. It made me sad, but it also made me strong. I cleaned near the bus stop. I cleaned near the cafe. I cleaned near the theater. I saw all kinds of trash: napkins, masks, pizza boxes, soda cups. I picked them all. People came and went, but I stayed. I was like a shadow. I was always there, with my bag and gloves. At night, I went home tired. My hands hurt. My back hurt. But I never felt weak. I washed my hands. I ate a simple dinner, sometimes just bread and soup. I sat on my bed and looked out the window. I saw the lights of the city, and I smiled. Somewhere out there was a clean street. Because I was there. I lived with my aunt. She was kind. She worked long hours at a factory. She did not say much, but she saw my work. One night she asked, "Why do you do this, Lily?" I said, "Because I want a clean world." She looked at me. Her eyes were soft. "That's a big dream," she said. I said, "Yes, but I'm not afraid." She didn't speak after that. But the next morning, she left a note on the table. "Be careful and keep going." I put the note in my bag. I still have it. I never told my friends. They did not ask. We were all busy. Some worked at stores. Some stayed home. Some just didn't care. That was okay. I did not need help. But deep inside, I wished for it. I wished someone would walk beside me. Just once. Just to see how it feels. To clean a street. To make it better. To give without getting. One week the city had heavy rain. The streets were full of water. Trash floated in the puddles. I put on a raincoat. I walked anyway. The water went into my shoes. My fingers were red from the cold. But I kept going. I cleaned under a bench. I cleaned near a drain. I found an old doll. It was wet and broken, but I cleaned it and left it on a clean bench. Maybe a child would find it. Maybe it would make someone smile. After a few months, people began to notice. A man in a green vest stopped me. He worked for the city. He said, "I see you every week." I said, "Yes, I come to clean." He said, "Do you work for the city?" I said, "No, just myself." He looked surprised. "Why do you do it?" he asked. I said, "Because it's my street too." He smiled. "Keep going," he said. "You're doing good work." I said, "Thank you, sir." That day, I felt proud. One afternoon, I found a letter on the bench. It was in a plastic bag. The paper was clean. It said, "Thank you, girl with the trash bag. You are a light in this dark city." I looked around. No one was there. I folded the paper and put it in my pocket. I read it every night for a week. It made me feel strong. I was not alone. Someone saw me. Someone cared. But not every day was good. One day, a boy threw trash right in front of me. I looked at him. He laughed and ran. I picked up the trash. My hands shook. I was angry, but I did not shout. I took a deep breath. I said to myself, "It's okay. Keep going. That is my rule. No matter what. Keep going. Chicago is still not clean. The work is never done. But I am still here. I still walk. I still pick up trash. I still dream. One bag at a time. One street at a time. I am just a girl, but I have a big dream, and I will not stop. Before I share the rest of my story, I need to know, where are you listening from? Knowing someone hears me, understands me, gives me strength. Some people said I was wasting my time. "The city is too big," they said. "You cannot fix it alone." But I did not try to fix the whole city. I just wanted to fix one small part, one block, one street. That was enough for me. I woke up early. I packed a sandwich and water. I took my bag and gloves. I walked out the door with hope in my heart. One morning, I went to a new place. It was under the train bridge. The ground was full of trash. I saw plastic bags stuck on the fence. I saw broken glass and food boxes. It smelled bad, but I stayed. I worked slow. I picked up one piece at a time. My back hurt. My hands were tired, but I kept going. I saw two boys watching me from a bench. They laughed. One threw a candy wrapper on the ground. I looked at them. I said nothing. I just picked it up. After some time, they left. I was alone again, but I was used to that. I worked better in silence. I did not need music. I just needed the sound of the wind and the city. After an hour, I looked at the street. It was clean. The fence was clear. The sidewalk was safe. I stood and took a breath. That was a good feeling. Not a big change. But still, it mattered. Later that day, I went to a small bakery. I had $10. I bought a hot tea and a bun. I sat outside and watched the people walk. Some looked happy, Some looked tired. Some walked fast and never looked up. I was like that before. I never saw the trash. I never saw the small things. But now I saw everything. Every cup. Every straw. Every bottle. I saw what others missed. I saw a girl drop a napkin. She did not see it. She kept walking. I got up and picked it up. A man near me smiled. "You care," he said. I said, "Yes, I do." He asked, "Do you work for someone?" I said, "No. Just for the earth." He nodded. He said, "The earth needs more people like you." That made me happy. Just a few words, but they stayed with me. Sometimes I felt tired. Sometimes I asked myself, does it even help? The trash came back the next day. The streets got dirty again. But I remembered a tree. It grows slow. It takes time. My dream was like that tree. Small, but strong. I just had to wait. I had to keep going. One evening, I walked past a school. I saw kids play in the yard. The street near the school was full of candy wrappers. I cleaned it. I cleaned near the gate. I cleaned the sidewalk. A woman came out of the school. She was a teacher. She saw me. She asked, "Are you with a group?" I said, "No, just me." She smiled. "You cleaned this for the kids?" I said, "Yes. I want them to have clean streets." She looked at me for a long time. Then she said, "Come back tomorrow." The next day, I went back. She was waiting. She gave me a small badge. It said, "Volunteer Friend." She said, "The school will let you clean here, and we'll tell the kids about you." I said thank you. That felt big to me. I was just one girl. But now the kids would know. Maybe they would learn. Maybe they would care too. The next week, I cleaned near the school every day. One day, 2 girls walked up to me. They had small gloves and a trash bag. "Can we help?" they asked. I smiled. "Yes," I said. We cleaned together. They asked me why I did this. I said, "Because I love this city, and I want it to be clean." They nodded. One said, "I want to help every week." That was the best thing I heard all month. People started to notice more. A man in a suit gave me $5. I said, "Thank you, but I don't take money." He looked confused. "Why not?" I said, "This is my gift." He smiled and walked away. Another woman gave me an extra trash bag. "Use this next time," she said. "It's stronger." I thanked her. I liked those small gifts. Not money. Just help. Still, there were hard days. One day, it rained all morning. The wind was strong. I wore 2 coats. but I still felt cold. I cleaned near a store. The ground was wet. I slipped once. I fell on my side. My leg hurt. I sat on the curb. For a moment, I wanted to cry. I wanted to go home. But I looked at the ground. It was still dirty. I stood up. I kept going. One step, one bag. That was my way. Another day, I saw a man shout at me. He said I made him look bad. "You clean here to make us feel guilty," he said. I did not answer. I just picked up a soda can. He walked away angry, but I stayed. I was not cleaning for him. I was cleaning for the earth, for the kids, for myself. I started to take photos, before and after. Dirty street, then clean street. I posted them on a small board in the school. The kids liked it. One said, "You are the trash hero." I laughed. I liked that. Not a big name, but a good one. One day, I cleaned near the train station. It was very busy. So much trash. I worked for 3 hours. When I stood up, a woman in a yellow coat stopped me. She had a small camera. She said, "I'm from a newspaper. I want to write about you." I said, "I'm not special." She said, "But you do something good. People need to see it." I agreed. I told her my name. I told her why I clean. She took a picture. I did not smile. I wanted the photo to be true. A week later, my aunt showed me the paper. There I was, on the front of the local news, a girl with a trash bag. My name under the photo. The title said, "She cleans what others leave behind." I read the article. It was short, but it said the truth, that I was not paid, that I cared, that I believed small things can make a big change. The next week, 3 more people joined me. One was a teacher, one was a student, one was an old man with a cane. We walked together. We picked up trash. We laughed. We worked. I was not alone anymore. That felt good. That felt strong. Still, I knew it was just the start. The city was still full of trash. Many people still did not care. But I was not sad. I had hope. Hope in a clean street. Hope in small hands. Hope in a better tomorrow. I did not want a prize. I did not want to be famous. I just wanted to walk on a clean street. I wanted the wind to blow and not carry a plastic bag. I wanted the kids to play without stepping on glass. I wanted the earth to breathe, and I believed that was enough. One bag, one street, one girl. Spring came to the city. The trees had leaves again. The sky was blue most days, but the trash was still there. It hid under the bushes. It rolled in the wind. It sat in the corners where no one looked. But I looked. I always looked. My eyes saw what others missed. I was not tired of it. Not yet. I walked to the park near the river. The ground was wet from the rain. I saw bottles near the water. I saw bags stuck in the grass. The bench had food wrappers under it. I took out my gloves. I opened my trash bag. I started to work, one piece at a time. That was always my way. A man sat on a bench and watched me. He was quiet. He drank coffee and did not say much. When I walked past, he said, "You come here a lot." I said, "Yes." He asked, "Why do you do it?" I said, "Because I care." He looked at me for a second, then said, "More people should be like you." I smiled, but I said nothing. At school, one teacher asked me to speak to her class. I said I was not good at speaking. She said, "Just tell them the truth." So I did. I stood in front of 10 kids. My hands shook a little, but I said, "I pick up trash. I do it every day because I want clean streets. I want safe parks. I want kids like you to play and not fall on glass." They were quiet. Then one boy raised his hand. He said, "Can I help you one day?" I smiled and said, "Yes, you can." One Saturday, he came with his sister. They wore small gloves. They had little bags. We cleaned the sidewalk near the school. They were fast. They worked with joy. At the end, they both gave me a hug. That was better than any gift. I went home that night and looked out my window. I saw the street below. It looked cleaner than last year. Not perfect, but better. I saw fewer bags. I saw fewer bottles. I saw more kids playing. I saw hope. The bakery owner left a note for me. It said, "You remind us to care." She gave me a cup of tea. "You help this city," she said, "more than you know." I said thank you. I did not need gifts, but kind words made me feel strong. Some days I still worked alone. Some streets were quiet. Some were loud. Some were safe. Some were not. But I walked all of them. I walked with care, with purpose, with my trash bag. A few people from the city office asked me to speak at a local event. I said yes. I wore clean jeans and a blue shirt. I stood in front of a small group. I said, "This work is not big, but it is real. I do it with my hands, with my time, with my heart. I believe in clean streets. I believe in change, even if it starts with just one girl." That night, I walked home. The wind was soft. The sky was dark, but I felt light inside. I knew I would clean again tomorrow because this is my dream, and I am not tired. Not yet. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, and share. More emotional and inspiring stories are coming soon.